Hello everybody and welcome to Mark Goldbridge, That's Football. It's the Premier League preview, but Mikel Arteta is the new Arsenal manager. He's said his goodbyes to the Man City staff and he's on his way down to London town to be unveiled as Arsenal manager. And I think you get the best opinion from people like you on this channel. Everybody is welcome. Arsenal fans, I'm sure, will be a bit like us with United fans with Ollie. When we first got in, there's that hope and, belief. And maybe that masks reality, but from rival fans or neutrals, you get the real opinion. Two things on this for Arteta for me. One, I would rather they'd got Nuno or Allegri, because I think Nuno is a counter-attacking football manager and Allegri is pragmatic and they wouldn't suit Arsenal. With Arteta, they are, if it works out, they are getting a manager who plays a brand of football that would suit what Arsenal want to see. So, that makes them a little bit more dangerous. Secondly, I think that Arteta has got a huge job, and Arsenal fans are going to have to be very, very patient with him, because I would liken it to United, but worse. At least United have got a good defence. Arsenal don't. And if Arteta is going to be called the Poundland Pep, and I don't know whether he is the Poundland Pep, but if he isn't, he is now. He's the Poundland Pep. He is basically a disciple of Pep. He will try and play similar football to Manchester City. But look at Pep at the start with Man City, defence was the problem. Look at Man City now, defence is the problem. Look at Poundland Pep at Arsenal, defence is going to be the problem. So Arteta needs money, a bit like Ollie, 500 million quid just to get into a top four race, I think. Will he get that money at Arsenal? Similarly to United, you've got owners there who basically want two cakes. They want the profit cake and the success on the pitch cake, and it doesn't work. Man City, Liverpool, they want success on the pitch. They put the money into that. I don't think Arsenal will. And Arteta just needs so much money, so much time, and even if that defence is so bad, there's a lot of players at that club that I just don't think are good enough. They sacked Emery. Those players should have responded and said, look, the manager's been sacked. It was his fault. Look how good we are without him. And they got worse. So they've got a massive problem with their squad, Arsenal. And it's a massive job for Arteta. Do I think he's going to be successful? No, I don't. I think over the next few games they will be inconsistent still. I think it's a very long-term job, and it's a very hard job for somebody who's basically taken their first job in management. But let me just play you this, because this is from 888 Sport. Check out their topic this week. It's about London. It's about Arsenal in some ways.
So my unpopular opinion involves Tottenham Hotspur, and I just don't understand why they are perceived to be such a big club. Your great-granddad saw you win the double, and somehow you think you're relevant today.
Spurs are still a small club, according to Rory. Do you agree with that? I mean, look, Arsenal, I would say, are the biggest club in London. I don't, as an outsider, I would say that. But are Spurs a small club? Where do they rank in the London clubs? Why are they such a small club? Why do they consider themselves to be a big club? Because of their stadium? Because they got to a Champions League final? They've not won anything in decades, really. Links in the video description. Get over there and have your say about that. I have my comments on the video as per usual, so check over there. Get your comments in, see what I've said and see what Rory's saying about Spurs. It's interesting, isn't it? All I would say is they probably got their best chance in a long time to be successful, and it's explained in my comments on that video. Link in the video description. But bringing you back for a moment, Arsenal-Everton weekend, actually at Goodison Park. Ferguson has beaten Chelsea, drawn with Manchester United, and came back from 2-0 down against a good Leicester side to force penalties where they ultimately lost. So he's unbeaten in 90 minutes in 3 games against 3 good sides. Arsenal next, big test. That's going to be our first watch-along. Bumper watch-alongs this weekend. Loads of games, and we'll have them covered for you on That's Football. So make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We're doing Everton versus Arsenal Saturday lunchtime. And we're doing Manchester City versus Leicester Saturday tea time. It's a Christmas cracker. It might be 3, because we may well be doing Chelsea versus Spurs, which is the big game, of course, of the weekend. Mourinho versus Lampard. We'll be talking about that in a minute. We may do that as well. So make sure you subscribe. That's on Sunday afternoon. But talking about Arsenal against Everton, Duncan Ferguson will not be Everton's full-time coach. It's looking like it's going to be Ancelotti. That may well be the case by Saturday lunchtime. They could both have new managers. But part of me thinks that maybe Ancelotti should wait until after the Arsenal game, because Arsenal don't like it Upham, and who does? And Duncan Ferguson will certainly get that Goodison Park crowd going. They'll be playing off that momentum. And I think in a game like this against Arsenal, maybe Ancelotti should wait till their next game, because they could get something out of this through the sheer determination that Duncan Ferguson will bring into the team. So interesting. That will be our watch along. I'm going to go with I just think Arsenal might win. They might go and do something totally unexpected with Arteta there. Maybe this will be the bounce they should have got with the Pants model Lundberg, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. So I'm going to go with Arsenal win 2-1. Villa Southampton. What a game this is at the weekend. I mean, look. Villa are getting pulled into that relegation battle. They're on 15 points. Southampton are on 15 points. Norwich are on 12. Watford on 9. We'll talk about them in a minute. But Villa, the home team, when we hit January the 1st, everyone will have played 4 more Premier League games than they've played right now. There's this weekend, there's Boxing Day, there's 2 days after that, and then there's New Year's Day. 12 points up for grabs. The relegation zones will start to take shape. The top 4 will start to take shape. And I think Villa have got to get something out of this. But Southampton are much improved. So I'm going to go 1-1. Bournemouth-Burnley. I think both of those teams could get pulled into a relegation battle. They've got a little bit of a gap at the moment. But Bournemouth-Burnley, I'd fancy Bournemouth to win that at home 2-0. Brighton-Sheffield United. Again, Brighton could get pulled into a relegation battle. Sheffield United want to be in a top 4 battle. I think that'll be a draw as well. Newcastle-Crystal Palace. Again, Newcastle doing very, very well at the moment. 22 points. They're 7 points clear of safety. They're only 1 point behind Crystal Palace. As the home team, I'd fancy Newcastle to win that 2-1. Norwich against Wolves. Tough fixture for Norwich. I think Norwich are going down. Delia won't like that much because it's Christmas and she does well out of Christmas, but I can't see Norwich getting anything at Wolves, to be honest with you. And Wolves themselves sort of hanging around that top 4 battle. I'd expect Wolves to win that maybe 3-0, even though it's at Norwich. And then that 5:30 kick-off, Manchester City against Leicester. Very, very interesting tie this because, look, Liverpool have got a week off for the Club World Cup. They can afford to take a week off. They're so far ahead. They don't even need to play the extra game that they'll get back, the game in hand. They may as well just give it up. They are 10 points clear of Leicester. They are 14 points clear of Manchester City. And the gap between Leicester and Man City is 3 points. So even if Leicester were to lose this game to Manchester City, there would still be a point ahead of them. I think Manchester City will win this, but I think it's a very intriguing game. Obviously, Liverpool would probably like a draw, but I do think Manchester City will win it, which actually Liverpool won't be too bad about because it doesn't close their gap on the top. Which means when they get their game in hand, they could go 13 points clear. I mean, Liverpool are going to win this league. It's ridiculous. I've said this so many times. 30 years without a title, and they basically won their first one in 30 years by Christmas. It's crazy, but they will win it. And I do think Manchester City will beat Leicester, but again, we will be doing a watch along for that, and I think it's going to be a Christmas cracker. Moving on to Sunday, you've got Watford against Manchester United. United really stuttering when the curtains were opened by Frank, letting United back into a top 4 race. All they had to do was beat Everton at home. They couldn't do it. They didn't deserve to do it. So the next one is Watford. Watford are in the bottom 3. They need to start winning games, but I think in this game it's about not getting beaten. Nigel Pearson will have them well organised. They were much improved against Liverpool when they lost 2-0 at Anfield last week. United just not that good against these sort of teams, and I think if Watford play their cards right, i.e. they defend well and look to hit us on the break, they could get something out of this. I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw. Tottenham Chelsea, massive game to conclude the weekend. Fast games coming up, we'll be talking about that. But Tottenham against Chelsea, if I check the Premier League table correctly, I believe that Chelsea are on 29 points and Tottenham are on 26. A 2-0 win would switch it around and Tottenham would go into 4th place above Chelsea. So they are the prizes. And with Tottenham as the home team in this, I do think they will beat Chelsea. I think Chelsea have had a very good season, but I don't think, they're not the Chelsea of old where they had that authority. I still think they're an inexperienced Chelsea side with an inexperienced manager and an inexperienced team. And I think that Mourinho, where he got it wrong against these last time United against Solskjaer, he lost. I don't think he's going to lose this one against Lampard. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Tottenham in relation to that, which would put them into the top 4 for Christmas. And then we move, don't we? We move to what are the next games going to be? Boxing Day, a full fixture list on Boxing Day. You've got, well, no, not quite. We've got 9 games on Boxing Day. Leicester, Liverpool, big game, 8 o'clock on Boxing Day night. Manchester United against Newcastle, 5:30. Tottenham, Brighton, 12 o'clock. And then on Friday, you've got Wolves against Man City, which is another tough game for Manchester City. And then everyone's playing on Saturday. and Sunday, 48-hour rest. So interesting to see how they're going to play these players. There's going to have to be some squad rotation, but a very exciting time. You know, a lot of people love Christmas, but I like Christmas especially for the football. It's going to be great. And as I said, we've got those watch-alongs for you. Everton, Arsenal, Saturday lunchtime. Man City, Leicester, Saturday tea time, and potentially we're going to do Tottenham versus Chelsea Sunday tea time as well. So make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and what are your thoughts on Arteta? Will he be successful? And also, of course, the 888 Sport video link. Are Spurs a small club? Check out what I've said in the comments and what Rory's got to say about it. Links in the video description. Thanks everyone for watching. Lots coming up over the next couple of days. Make sure you subscribe.